Welcome to the Tiffany Mika podcast. What we do here is build the strength and courage in you to accomplish your big dreams and goals in your sport. No longer will you feel limited. You won't feel you're not good enough. You won't question whether you will make it. Those doubts will disappear because you will have the competitive edge over your opponents and leave them in your wake. And the bonus is others will notice. Listen up and take notes because I will show you exactly how to do it. Hey there, Tiff here. Welcome to the Tiffany Mika podcast. What we're going to be doing here today, lesson 3, how to gain that mental edge. So in here, what we're going to be doing is working on your belief development. And the reason for that is I believe everything's about belief. And it's what you believe. You got to look at it this way. What you see in your world is what you believe. So if you look out at your world and you believe that everyone's against you, nobody likes you, bad things always happen to you, well, that's the world that you see. And that's also the mirror of how you feel on the inside. So if you want to change that, we need to change the way in which you think. If you look out at your world and you think your world is amazing, you've got some fantastic things going on in your life, again, the world is a mirror of what's going on in your head. So what we need to be doing here is we need to be working on your belief and what you believe is true, right? So if you're thinking, obviously, if you think negatively, then negative things are going to happen. This is just in simple form. It can be much deeper than that. But if you then think positively, well, then more positive things are going to happen. It's just a very simple way to look at things. So what we're going to be doing in this session, as you're very well aware through these Gaining the Mental Edge lesson series, this has all come from the Get Focused Academy, which I am no longer running, and I'm giving it out to you for free. There is a video attached to this. So you'll hear the audio when you're on the podcast episode. When you go into the video part of it, you will actually see the video. If you go to my website, I'll also have a free download for you so you can print up the sheet that complements this lesson so that you can get out there and start working on your belief development. Now, before you get started on this and before I share what happens through belief development, can you send me an email or leave a message below the video where you see this video and just let me know how you're going? I'm really interested to know how things are going for you, what you're learning, what you're discovering, because this is what it's all about. It's all about helping you become better, become clearer, become the person that you want to become. So don't be shy. Love to hear from you, and make sure you send me an email, like I said, or leave a comment down below. We'd love to hear from you. So let's get to it. Dream big, believe in you, go after your dreams. Hey there, Tiff here. Okay, so this video is about belief development. Now, what happens with regards to whether we accomplish things or we don't in our lives, whether it be sport or life or whatever it is that we're working towards, it's all based around what goes on in here. So what we want to look at is we want to look at where your belief system is at. So I call this our belief development area because that's what we're going to be working on, our belief. Now, if you are quite positive, great. Doesn't mean that you don't go through this section because there may be some areas in this that you can refine. So I want you to make sure that you go through this area as well. If you you really have a lack of self-belief, then definitely you have to go through this. Because I completely understand what it's like to have lack of self-belief. I know when I was pursuing my tennis career, when I was a junior, lots of lack of belief in me, lots of negative thoughts, lots of people telling me I'd never make it. There was a lot of negativity around there, and because of who those people were, I tended to believe and thought that what they were saying to me was true, because they had more experience than me in life, they had more experience in the sport than I did, and I had respect for them. So once you hear that repetition of certain phrases and words being said to you, whether they're positive or negative, over a period of time you believe that it's true, and then that dictates what then happens for you. So make sure that you go through this belief development area, because it's designed to help you. So remember, if you're lacking self-belief, definitely go through this. If your belief system's pretty good, I still want you to go through this and see if you can identify some things that possibly are missing that you can also add. Remember, we're always a work in progress, and if you went through the life categories area and baseline reality check, you would have identified too how important personal growth is. Okay, so this is part of the personal growth experience. We want to make sure that we're growing and working on becoming the people we want to become. So dream big, believe in you, go after your dreams. Just make sure you follow this video. Okay, see you soon. Hey there, Tiff here. Well, belief development. That's so important that we look at that, because if you went through the Successful Athlete Masterclass prior to joining the Get Focused Academy, you would have seen in that very first video that I talked about how important belief is. Because if you don't believe in you, you're not going to make it. You're not going to become the athlete that you want to become. You're not going to become the person that you want to become. You're not going to achieve what you want to achieve because you have no belief. And so if you are struggling in this area, then this is why you need to do this belief development session here today that you're going through. But if you do have belief, I still want you to go through this, because I think it's really important that you can still identify specific words or specific language and way in which you speak to yourself, so that you can then rectify that and improve that. Because remember, we're always working on growing. We're always working on improving ourselves. So we want to make sure that that's what you're actually really focused on, belief development. That's why I call it development, because we're constantly working on improving who we are. So what is a belief? Well, a belief is something one accepts as true or real, a firmly held opinion. Now, an opinion is a view or judgment formed about something, not necessarily based on fact or knowledge. So a belief can be something that you accept as true or real. It can be what someone has said to you. And over time you believe, well, they've said that. That must be true. Right? A belief in what you feel is, oh, well, I'm hopeless or I'm useless. Well, to you, that's true. Right? Because that's your firmly held opinion, and you've accepted that that's true or real. But remember, a belief is really just an opinion. It's a judgment. Doesn't necessarily mean that it's right. Doesn't necessarily mean that it's based on fact or knowledge. It's just your perception. So this is what I believe belief is. It's based on the repetition of an opinion, whether it is by you or someone whom you respect or thinks has more experience than you. Interesting, isn't it? Now, I say that because of the experience that I've had throughout my life. So when I was younger, and I was having this conversation with my mum just recently, when I was younger, I got told all the time, not by my parents, but I got told all the time that I was never going to make it as a tennis player. I was never good enough. I was a big baby. I was hopeless. I'll never get there. Having yourself on, Tiff, right? And I had that repeatedly said to me. And what I found out from my mum was she said that everyone was saying that to her too about me. Interesting, isn't it? Right? But when I was at that impressionable age of 13, because didn't, I was unsure about the world, uncomfortable in my own skin, and I had people whom I respected or who, I thought had more experience in life than me, and they were saying these things to me. Over time, that repetition, I believed it was true. It was an opinion from someone else, but I believed it was true. So that held me back in my thinking. That held me back in my sport development. That held me back in accomplishing the goals that I wanted to accomplish in my tennis. Because I believed the repetition of what someone else said, which was a negative thing. That was my experience. You may be going through the same thing. Let me tell you, it is not true. It's their opinion. But if you've got someone who's backing you all the way, you can do this. You've got the talent. You've got the potential. You can do this. Back you 100%. That's a great belief backing already. Okay, so the belief the message I want to get across to you here is the repetition of an opinion is what a belief is. Okay? So let's look at negative beliefs. Here's some. These are quite common. I'm not good enough. I can't do it. I'm not fast enough. Why are you even trying? Told you could never make it. You will never make it. Told you couldn't do it. There's so many negative beliefs. But if you keep repeating that over and over again, what's going to happen? You're going to believe that that's true. Because it's based on the repetition of an opinion, whether it's by you or someone whom you respect or thinks has more experience than you. But if you're saying it, then it's the repetition of an opinion by you. If you keep telling yourself you're not good enough, well, then that's true, isn't it? If you keep telling yourself that you're not fast enough, well, that's true. If you keep telling yourself that you can't do it, well, then that's true. If you keep telling yourself, told you couldn't make it, or you told you'll never make it, well, then that's true, isn't it? Because that's what your belief is. Because it's that repetition of you saying that over and over again. So when you hear it repetitively, you believe it is true. That's what happens. Repetition. So this is what happens. This is the process. So negative beliefs, which is negative thoughts, leads to negative feelings. Right? So if you're negative about yourself, then you start to have negative feelings about yourself because that's what your beliefs are telling you. So then you start to feel that. Then what happens is then you take negative actions. What happens is that you get negative results. And I'll give you an example of what I mean by that. So when I played in a tournament, you may have heard this through a podcast show that I've recorded. You may have read it in my book. I do talk about this. There was a specific event, a tennis tournament that I played against a specific tennis player. It was a professional female tennis player. And I was so down on who I was. I'm not good enough. I can't do this. Told you you'll never make it. See? Told you can't do it. All these negative beliefs. Oh, look, they're going to think that I'm an idiot. Oh, look at me. I can't even play. I can't even stand up in the court. I can't even hit the ball over the net. Gee, I suck. I'm hopeless, right? Negative beliefs. Went into negative feelings. Felt really down. Struggled to get the body moving. The body froze up. I was so fearful in making errors, I struggled to move to the ball. That feeling of fear, the feeling of worry, the feeling of being down, the feeling of looking like I'm useless and hopeless led to the negative actions. I hit every ball out of the court, struggled to get the ball over the net, made lots of double faults. Those were the actions. What was the negative results? I got absolutely smashed. 6-love, 6-love. Bawled my eyes out behind the clubhouse. But that's what happened because of the negative beliefs. All of that led to this here, this area here, negative results, because I believed that I couldn't do that. And that's how powerful beliefs are. So if we turned it around and we did it the other way, then we'd get positive results, right? Positive beliefs, positive feelings, positive actions, positive results. So remember, when you hear it repetitively, you believe it's true. And if you say the negative stuff here, if you keep saying it over and over again, what happens? It can be absolutely devastating. And I know what it's like because I've been there. I've been the other side too, but it can be absolutely devastating. That's why we want to make sure that if you are in a state or in a place where you're quite negative, we need to get you out of that. That's why we want to work through this belief development. If you're already in a positive frame of mind and you're not in these negative areas, that is fine. Is there areas in which you can still improve? Because remember, when you hear it repetitively, you believe it is true. So the exciting news is that you can change it. So yes, you can change that from being absolutely devastated to making it all happen. It is true. It can happen. Just because you are in a state where you feel like it's not going to happen for you right now doesn't mean that you're always going to be there. We've got to train you, right? Mental skills need to be learned. They don't automatically happen. It's like a sports skill. You have to learn these skills, right? You don't get taught these skills. You don't get taught these skills at school. You don't get taught these in sport. I know that because I've been an athlete, and I've also been a coach, and I've seen many coaches never look at any of this stuff. It's all the technique, and it's not. It's the mental skills. It's the mental skills around your development that creates the player. So belief development, what are we going to do here? We want to be number one, right? We want to be on top, but we've got to believe that it is possible. So what are we going to do? Okay, so here we are at the belief development worksheet. So remember, to copy it, you just go to File, go down, make a copy, hit make a copy, put your name in there, and then you can work through the belief development worksheet. So why are we doing that? It's so that we can get clear on the language in which you are speaking. And our ideal result is to ensure that you are speaking in your belief language that will drive you forwards towards your goals. Okay, this is always about you moving forward towards your big dream, you accomplishing all the goals that you want. So the first step, number one, what we're going to do is we're going to look at the negative belief language. So what we're going to do down here in this area here, and remember, by you copying this sheet, you can then type it all out. Okay, that's the great thing. If you don't want to, you can print it out and write it. But that's why I've made this available for you so you can just go through it. So step one, negative belief language. What I want you to do here is list all the negative phrases, negative thoughts that you would use, or negative words that you would use in speaking to yourself. So here's some examples. I am not good enough. I will never make it. I am so bad. Right? So we're looking at those things in which are negative. And we want to get all that language out that we're speaking to ourselves out and onto a paper and go, whoa, do I really speak to myself like that? Again, we're creating and getting you to identify, but we're creating a new way, okay? New belief. So our new belief language, and this is what I call it. What we want to do here in this next step two is we want to rewrite below all the negative phrases, negative words that you have listed above, and next to each phrase we want to craft a new belief language to speak to yourself. So what we want to do here is then we look at, here's some examples, right? So I put, I am not good enough. New belief language, I'm getting better and better every day. Because if you say, I am not good enough, and then you say, I am good enough, that little voice in your head will say, no, you're not. You'll say, yes, I am. No, I'm not. And you'll have this little voice in your head saying, no, you're not good enough. No, you can't do this. And you have this internal argument with yourself. And what we want to do is we can, with this new belief language, because it can change over time, but if you say I'm not good enough and then you turn around and you say, well, actually I'm getting better and better every day, you especially that little negative voice in your head, you're going to be able to tackle that better by you slowly training it, so to speak, into turning it into that little voice of positive language. So, or our new belief language, okay? So I'm not good enough, I'm getting better and better every day. I'll never make it, I will give my best effort of me today. How good's that? I'll give my best effort of me today. All you can do each day is give the best of you that you can give. Some days it's going to be awesome. Some days it's going to be struggling, or you're going to struggle. And as long as you're having a go, right? Just giving the best, because if you keep giving the best of you each day, when you really need it, you're going to be able to draw on it, because you're constantly trying to give the best effort of you. May not be as good as it was yesterday. Might be better than it is tomorrow. Maybe better than it was last week. Maybe not so good. But all you can do is do the best that you can do each day. Okay? Here's another example. I'm so bad. Don't turn around and say I'm so good, because you're not going to believe that, especially if you're in quite a negative state. Or you can say something like, I'm getting feedback on how to improve, right? So at the moment, if things aren't going the way that you want to, well, you know what? You're getting feedback. Everything, life is feedback. Sport is feedback. Everything that you do is feedback on how can you improve, okay? So that's what you want to be looking at. So what I want you to do here in step 2 is I want you to write down all the negative language or words or phrases that you use, put them all down here, and then beside it, I want you to type out what your new language is going to be, because I'm really excited to hear what this is going to actually be and hear how you're going to talk to yourself. Now, once you've done this new language, right, we'll put it new belief language. So once you've put that new belief language in place and you've written it there, what I want you to do here is now write out what those new belief language phrases are. Okay, so we want to put them down there, because what we're going to be doing, so for example, I'm getting better and better every day, for example, you're going to put it down here, I'm getting better and better every day. What I want you to do is then I want you to put it somewhere where you can see it every day. I want you to read it out to yourself every day. So do it in the morning when you get up. Best time to do anything is in the morning when you get up. Don't leave it, I'll get to it. You never get to it. When you get up, have it beside your bed. Even before you get out of bed, read it out. Might be just 5 phrases. Might be 10. Doesn't matter how many. You don't want to have pages and pages of stuff. Have the most important ones, no more than 10. Read them out to yourself in the morning. When you jump into bed, read them out before you go to sleep. What a great way to start the day. What a great way to finish the day, by you putting in that new belief language. All right, we're going to start developing your beliefs so that you can become not only the athlete that you want to become, but you can become the person that you want to become. So I want you to dream big, believe in you, go after your dreams, and I look forward to hearing what you come up with your belief development.
More than ever, we need hope. More than ever, we need to believe that everything is going to be okay. The world is a mirror of what you see. And if you don't like what you see, then it's time to change your world. The first step is to believe in you. Believe that you can be anything and believe that you can do anything. And that's why I've written the book Focus, how to reach your potential in sport, business and life. It's to show you are worthy, that you can trust you and reach your potential. Get a free copy of Focus, How to Reach Your Potential in Sport, Business and Life. All you need to do is go to tiffanyMika.com/free book. All I ask is that you pay for the shipping and handling. I look forward to seeing you there. Dream big, believe in you, go after your dreams.